Okay, so let's talk about a very important Bitcoin price level that I am keeping an eye on. And we're also going to talk about Mara stock. So, to get started, as Bitcoin continues to hold the current support range in red that I've been talking about on this channel for a while, I'm going to give you guys more detail on it in case you guys are new. I'm going to go over previous stuff to keep, you know, keep everything updated. And then we'll move over to Mara stock after that. So, um, I kept saying in previous videos I was going to give you guys a new update on the BitU position. Here it is. We're still holding over 1,000 shares. I plan to add another $5,000 at least this week, as a way to take advantage of still the accumulation area that we're in for, that we're continuing to hold for Bitcoin. I'm going to talk about some macro stuff, my own personal view. So everything is just going to be my opinion and what I'm doing. I'm just sharing everything I'm doing with you guys, but it's very important to do your own due diligence, and then we'll jump into Mars stock. But if you guys remember, I said I was going to explain once again for a lot of new people why I like to accumulate early. So this BitU position will continue to stay in the red as long as we're in this discounted area. The moment we break over this swing high, the position will now begin to, close into the average price for BitU and then go over. Once we break over the retracement, we'll be in the green, and then from there, TP will be at 128,000 and above. The reason I like to accumulate early is because if you guys remember in the previous videos and then over the weekend, we started approaching this. We were in this descending aggressive sell-off into the support area that we've been keeping an eye on. So this happens during closed market hours, and if you're someone like me that's trading an ETF in during market open hours, it's impossible to take advantage and accumulate during these aggressive dips. And I kept saying that right now, I believe that these short-term discounted prices in Bitcoin are not super sustainable, and we can easily recover out of this and go back up to making a new all-time high real soon. But until we do that, the very important price level that I am once again bringing up and stressing about it, because it's still very, I'm going to explain why I'm still keeping an eye on it, is this zero point 0.5 retracement at 110.7K. Ideally, break below it and actually hit like 110K will be really, really sweet. Reason being is, just like I've been saying in previous videos, we are still holding this, downtrend. No matter how much optimism there was recently, tariffs are still sort of aggressive. We still have a lot of tariff fears. We do have the jobs report making it, putting more pressure, making it a little bit easier for the Fed to cut rates. But there's no official confirmation for that. There's no guarantee, and I believe that's what a lot of the market sentiment is sort of, expecting as well. They understand it's very much easier now for the Fed to cut rates, but there's still enough time to look at future economic reports, and then on top of that, see how that actually influenced the likelihood of this jobs report causing the Fed to want to cut rates. Of course, this is real good. It's a really, really good indicator for that to happen. But again, it was bad, which is good, but it's not enough, at least yet. And investors still, I believe, we're seeing this accumulation happening in the bigger picture as well. That's why we're not seeing Bitcoin continuing to sell off aggressively. I mean, if there was a lot of bearish momentum, we will see Bitcoin already below the 110K area, and there's no reason to be super feared, right? We're short-term discount. This correction is quite deep. We've come down quite aggressively, but at the same time, we're still holding previous imbalance value gaps pretty well. We're not seeing any short-term aggressive weakness, so there's just no reason to be overly feared, right? So now, with that being said, in the short term, I kept saying in previous videos, I like to see the price flirt with the 120 moving average on an overall downtrend. It would just let the price have a correction. It never came up into this area, but that's okay. It's still possible. We're somewhat holding the support area. This can just be a simple, you know, multi-wave up. If you guys like Elliott waves, like a first, second, third wave up, just corrective pattern. Um, unless we break this swing low right here, and you know, at that point we're looking at just finishing the correction, coming down into, you know, that 0.5 and below, so we can really have really, you know, have a good chance for the bulls to really start to pick up pace again. But then on top of that, it's, you know, we still have this area up here in view where the price can easily, and I kept saying no matter what happens in the short term, it's all just noise. There's no reason to be like letting noise get to you, right? So we came up, we came down, we're holding support, at least as of right now. We have the opportunity to go up. Then at that point, where we're in this area, the idea would be for the price to come down, break the 0.5, have that one more low, and go up. Excuse me, and then at that point go up higher. So that's the current view, right? So we can either just finish going into this retracement resistance area and then come down, finish going into the discounted portion of the support area. This will be extremely good. But of course, there's the possibility that we're still holding a higher low. I mean, you know, this fluctuation is quite sharp. I mean, we haven't broken over the descending resistance just yet, right? We're sort of holding at it. So the idea is for this to find enough momentum to break over and go higher. But regardless, none of that matters. It's all just noise, right? So what am I doing? And I kept saying this, and I kept saying this a lot in previous videos, is I don't care what the price does. The idea is that I am accumulating with the expectations of support holding within this area. And, you know, the reason for that is it's a simple retracement from the previous short-term deep value area. It's a simple retracement. These deep value, simple retracements hold pretty much, in my opinion, every time, for the most part, as long as we're holding the overall, you know, bias direction, which is that the bull market is still alive, right? We're just having these massive fluctuations, and you know, we go up, consolidate, go up, consolidate. The idea would be that we continue to go up as this bull market has not ended yet, or at least I don't see any signs that the bull market has ended yet, especially with expectations of a rate cut happening eventually, right? But the idea is that any higher prices, it could just be a bigger fake out. It's not anything to be overly optimistic for. There's two ways I can look at bullish confirmation, and that is simply the price continues to go up into this area. At that point, it could come down, hold a higher low. This higher low is simple. It can just be support holding. The support's kind of deep though. I'm not going to really worry about it too much. But let me see if I can do this, right? So as we go higher, it's as simple as continuing to follow the price higher with a bigger picture retracement for this entire move. You know, we come down however high the price goes before it tops within this area. It's as long as we hold that retracement support, we can go higher. If we break below the bottom line of the retracement, simple, it means that, you know, there's not enough bullish momentum to hold the bears back. If it breaks below that line, chances are, you know, we're going to continue to see the correction play out. But usually I strongly believe that it's just going to be very short-lived. The second way is if the price goes up higher and it actually holds and closes the candle above this 0.618 at 118.9K, then that shows that there is more bullish momentum than bearish. I mean, if we can break above this area, it's very bullish. It means, you know, at that point, if we have a correction, you know, again, retracement. So if we follow the price higher, it breaks the 118.9 and it actually closes above it. At that point, in my opinion, is much more likely that if we do have a correction, it will not break below the support line. It's as simple as that. But I'm not overthinking anything. It's simple. As long as we continue to hold this accumulation area, rather we hold above the 0.5 or below, it doesn't matter. This is a very important area I'm still looking at. We're in a downtrend still. We don't have bullish confirmation yet, but the idea is that as long as we're within this red area, there's, in my opinion, there's just no reason to not accumulate. It's as simple as that. So I'm accumulating. When I add more to that BitU position this week, which will happen, as long as we're within this area by Friday's close, I will add and I will show you guys. On top of that, again, we're in accumulation. The next TP leg up is 128K, and now we can finally jump into Mara stock, right? So it's very, very similar for Mara stock. We've been using, and if you guys are new, we've been using these support areas, and they've been holding very well. The idea is that not Bitcoin, but Mara came down very aggressively. It became very overvalued or undervalued within this structure, right? So we've been holding this ascending support line. We've been holding it very, very well. If you guys remember, during this time when we broke the support, there was just a lot of macro emotional fear. It wasn't anything like super fundamental. It was just fear across the markets due to external factors like war, tariffs, interest rates, and all that. It broke below it. So at that point, I kept saying like, hey, we're looking for accumulation within these red areas. They're very attractive, with the idea that Mara will eventually not just break above the ascending support, but hold above it. But until then, we're just waiting for a lot of this macro fear to actually fade away, like officially. And we're still in the process of that. So that's why when the price broke out of it, we also saw Bitcoin retrace. And I kept saying any small fear in Bitcoin can amplify in Mara. And we saw that. Right? So we had a nice sell area. So just like back here, if you guys remember, if you guys been watching at that time, I kept saying like this is a really decent accumulation area. It was an extension from previous structures that shows that the price can potentially bottom in this area, and it did. And then I kept saying simple take profit area, in my opinion. Previous value gap. There was videos on this. I've never changed the chart whatsoever. If you guys go back to what is that? Is that this? That was early this year, right? Yeah, it was like at the beginning in April. Yeah, at the beginning in April, and then all this was there, and then we go up higher. We eventually hit it, take profit. The next time, simple retracement could potentially bottom. It happened, and I gave you guys ahead of time this extension area, and it held very well. It came up. Anyone that took profit, congrats, because it ended up topping out. And now we're back into the next accumulation area. Simple retracement. It's holding that the smaller picture ascending support. It could easily provide an opportunity because Bitcoin is also looking to bottom at this time. Mara and Bitcoin are not completely correlated, and I explained why in previous videos. But it's just another accumulation area that's overlapping with previous imbalances on different time frames for the candles. We also have ascending support that is trying to hold. The RSI is quite discounted. We're in the overall retracement, and at that point, well, this is very attractive because also the underlying asset, Bitcoin, is also looking to potentially create a bottom already. So with that being said, my opinion is that I am still looking at this area as an attractive accumulation area as it holds around that 0.5 retracement at 15.68. Regardless, there's a few ways this can play out because the next take profit area is this blue area. It's the same as this. It's factoring in previous fluctuations to anticipate a potential price top. It's also overlapping nicely with a smaller picture ascending resistance. And it's also quite conservative. It's realistic because it's also, showing that, because of tariffs, interest rate, a lot of things affecting these growth assets across markets, a lot of growth assets. The thing is that it's well below this previous swing high. It just creates a simple small fluctuation where we could see a short-term price top before we see a continued correction. And if we do start getting aggressive rate cuts, or even just any rate cut this year, we could see the potential of a lot of money going into these growth assets and bringing us up into the overall area that we haven't been able to actually fill yet. We got rejected. So, going up into the 30s this year is very realistic as long as we see progression with rate cuts, right? But in the short term, right now, the idea is that a nice buying accumulation opportunity within the red, take profit within the blue, ideally like around $21.5. But 20 to 22.5 is at least what I'm looking at. And there's a few ways this can play out. We can easily consolidate within this area a bit more. It just depends how long it takes for Bitcoin as well, and what macroeconomic headlines we see throughout August. But the idea is that as long as Bitcoin is holding the support area to try to create a bottom, we could see easily a lot of that influence Mara to do a very similar thing. If if at any moment we do break below the 0.618 at $14.30, yeah, it's crazy, crazy, like no brainer buying opportunity. It's just no questions asked. Like, I don't care how low it goes. I believe it's gonna go back into this area and start trending high. It's just a what if. But regardless, we're in support, take profit up here. So we can either consolidate before going higher, or if we do see some wider fluctuations, it's as simple as Mara coming up into the overall retracement from this move. So going up into the retracement, and then at that point, we're looking for a retest of the red area before we go up into the blue take profit area. Of course, the other way, it will just crush this area or go up. Regardless, it doesn't revisit the red, and instead it just goes higher. But regardless, the idea is that if anyone is accumulating at current low prices, like it wouldn't be a bad idea to take some profit within the retracement in case we do have a little bit of a rejection, and then you can accumulate once again in the red, in my opinion. It's just thinking out loud sort of thing. But it will also leave some exposure if this area does get crushed and we go up to the overall take profit. So it's just up to you how you want to manage your trade. So there's a potential short term, not like completely take profit, but to lock in some profit and reaccumulate that back in the red if we have a retest, and then from there overall take profit in this area, or or you just hang out during that small correction until it goes up into this area. It just depends how eager you are to like lock in profit. But if you are in the green when we go up here, it's like you deserve your profit. So it's up to you if you want to take it or not. But again, any potential retest of the red, I believe it will be short-lived as well. It can easily break that 0.5 once again. It just depends on the macro environment at the moment. But regardless, again, anything in the red, accumulation, and then at that point overall sell, take profit zone will be in this area. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. I'll be keeping you guys updated. I'll show you guys the sorry, I meant to change the chart to Bitcoin. There you go. I'll keep you guys updated on the chart. I'm still looking for potential 110k test. But I understand we can still see some upside momentum in the short term. Regardless, I'll keep you guys updated, and I'll show you guys that BitU position once again when I add to it within the next 3 days. So yeah, I will catch you guys on the next one, and take care.